Hi, this week we have two webinars on 20th July Saturday that are of your interest. First is exploring the global luxury consumption landscapes at 10 a.m. in the morning. And second is securing the golden years, a comprehensive health insurance for senior citizens. So don't miss out this opportunity. Please register. Thank you.
Friends, we are back in Kodaikanal under the pear tree. It's a nice sunny day and it's time for a market conversation. Joining me is Subra after a long time. Welcome back, Subra. So today's conversation is going to be on the state of the market. I have never seen a market like this. A market which continuously climbs multiple walls of fear and comes out more confident. A market which thinks that every correction is an investment opportunity. A market which has the highest broad-based investor participation in our history. A market where direct equity investing is competing very well with mutual fund investing. A market where investors are making their own decisions without much external help. A market where investment education in the form of content is at its historic high. You can get information and content on almost every topic. You want to know about semiconductor, there are videos. You want to know about defense, there are so many people who have studied the policy, they have studied the companies, they have tried to create the policy company fit. They are stargazing into the future in every single sector. Never before we have had this kind of an intensity in investing. So let's hear from Subra what he thinks about the state of the market.
Thanks, Shyam. Let's look at it this way. Market has been climbing, and we were people when we were young, maybe in our 20s, we were told, oh, 3% of India is investing. If this becomes 6, what will happen? If it becomes 8, what will happen? We are still only at about 4 or. If you see the number of people in Dream 11, it's 20 crores. If you see the number of people in mutual funds, I would think it's about 5 crores. Maybe there are 4 crore folios, then there will be some overlap. So you take maybe there are about 5 crore investors, which means just to catch up with Dream level, we have to still double the penetration. That is one thing which is happening. The continuity of a government for 15 years, it's amazing. It's not happened in any part of the democratic world, right? Margaret Thatcher couldn't get the third term so easily. So the same environment is there, and I don't think anything is going to change in our external affairs. Nothing is going to change in our defense. Nothing is going to change in our infrastructure. So if you are dependent on companies in defense and infrastructure, maybe you have seen share prices at 1/10 of this, but perhaps the potential is to go much higher, right? So here is a government which has created an environment. Yes, the government has done a big chunk of the investments in infrastructure. I'm sure the private sector investing will happen. It's not too big. Some FDI money will come. So given all this, it's very difficult not to be optimistic. You have to be optimistic. But also it is possible that sometimes the earnings go up and sometimes the PE go up. It will never go up together in tandem ever like this. So sometimes the PE is higher, then the earnings will catch up. Sometimes the earnings goes up and then the PE will catch up. Right now, I still think there is a lot of PE to be, the EPS catching up to be done. Our market cap has crossed 5 trillion. Our GDP has not yet crossed 5 trillion. So if you ask me, there is a vacuum there. But if you can take a 3-year view, and in equity you should be taking a 10-year view, but even if you take a 3 to 5-year view, you can be optimistic. And we all invest regularly because we earn regularly. We don't have a lump sum to invest. So SIPs are continuing, and SIPs are growing at a pace which we didn't know that India had the capacity to invest so much. And I do think, based on the at least the immediate past, I don't see SIPs going down. There is no reason. There is no change in the government or anything like that. So I'm pretty optimistic. Yes, as fund managers say, the leaders might change. It may not be infrastructure. It may be pharma. It may not be pharma. It could be BFSI. So you could see that happening. But I only think leaders will keep changing. I don't see the market going down. But yes, of course, you have to be cautious. If you have got money for 3 months or 6 months, in the last 6 months, even if you had invested, market did well. So it might look like, oh, so even for 6 months, I could put money in equity. That may be wrong. That may be wrong. But if you take a 3, 5, 7, 10-year view, I don't think you can go too wrong. So I think market is good, healthy. Like you said, all-round participation from the HNI, from the small guy. Look at the success of IPOs. Any IPO, even NFOs of mutual funds are all getting fully subscribed, more than fully subscribed. So I think people are sitting in with the money, and that money is coming in.
I think we saw this tweet yesterday on this Nephrocare IPO, which is raising 40 crores. And reportedly they raised 8,000 crore from small investors, retail, and 20,000 crore overall. It's kind of crazy, right? That means there's so much liquidity in the system.
No, there are two things, this old 1970s idea that you can never go wrong with an IPO because the IPO price was controlled by CCI, Controller of Capital Issues, who was there before SEBI. That hangover is not yet gone. Today, you are just giving an exit to a venture capitalist. So you can lose money in Nykaa or Paytm or even in Zomato. You could have lost money, you may have made money. But yes, the exit is for an investor who is already there, who is trying to exit at a very high price. So in an OFS, maybe you won't make money, but in an IPO, decent chance that you will make money.
So you're distinguishing between the IPO and the OFS also. The theory that the smaller the size of the company, higher the returns, has been bought into by almost every investor in this market. What are your thoughts on this theory?
See, what happens is I see sometimes small cap doing well, sometimes mid cap doing well, sometimes large cap doing well. And those companies who are at the cusp of mid cap and large cap suddenly become large cap. Does it mean it will stop doing well? My answer is no. And I've always said a wiper manufacturer could be small scale, but for him to do well, the auto guy has to do well. The OEM is a big guy. So only when the big guy is doing well is the small guy also doing well. So I think you have to look at industry wise rather than market cap wise. But certain industries like say hoteliering, very unlikely that it will ever become large cap. It will always remain, it will go from small cap to mid cap, so it will be there. So if you want to participate in a company which is into tourism and tourism infrastructure and all those things, you have no choice but to be in mid cap. So similarly, certain niche services could only be in small cap. So I think you need a combination of small, mid and large. Some company, you can't put up an oil refinery in small cap or mid cap. An oil company will be large cap. Bank, when it gets big, will be large cap, but a small bank also will be there, and NBFC will be there. A life insurance company may start as mid cap, but will soon go to large cap. So I don't think we should worry too much about small cap, mid cap, large cap. Though of course it's possible that when you want one portfolio, maybe a multi cap portfolio or a flexi cap portfolio is better because all are participating. But to say this will do well and that will do well doesn't. Even if you give me 20 years data and say small cap has done better than large cap, I may be able to slice and give you a 7-year data when large cap has done better than small cap. So I don't think we should worry about market cap.
So either theory we need not take too seriously.
Yeah, and even with the data, you don't know how the next 20 years will pan out. So I don't think you should take it too seriously. You should be in all the markets. Yes, maybe you should be 60% in large cap and 20% and 10% in mid and small cap. But yes, you should participate in all of this.
What is your thinking on the euphoric mood in SME and in microcap? What do you think about these two spaces?
I think the listing process itself is not too great. So an SME can go and list itself in the SME segment, and then after 2 years or 3 years, it becomes into the large boards. These are companies on which not much research is available. You do not know why they have got listed. So maybe for a big investor who has got the capacity to go meet the management, see the industry, it may be a good idea. But for a small scale investor coming into these micro or small, he better do it through a mutual fund. Small guy, unless you know the management and all that, then it's a different thing. But otherwise, I think it's too risky.
There is a theory that mutual funds have very high impact costs in small caps. Therefore, it is better for the investor to do it on his own. What are your thoughts on this?
But that means the investor understands the whole business, right? So it's very difficult because the person who is selling the share is much better equipped than you are. You are buying the share, whereas he is being advised by the best merchant bankers and investment bankers. So he knows his timing, he knows when to sell, how much to sell. So you will never understand, and he will tell you exactly what you want to hear. So, and it may actually go up. He may give it to you at 120 and then the price may go to 180 and you will feel, wow, that is right, and then it may come down to 40. You are not sure about corporate governance, it's not being supervised well, you do not know the board of directors, you may not know who is the auditor. With all these uncertainties, unless you have some kind of inside information, and even with all this, you will not be willing to put a big portion of your money. You may not put 20% of your money, you may put 1% of your money, 0.5% of your money. You will test the waters. I wouldn't recommend this unless you're an investment professional. Enter it through a PMS maybe. If you think the impact cost will be higher for a mutual fund, enter a PMS who is wanting to do micro cap and small cap. Trying to do it directly, it's a full-time job. Don't do it.
Okay, you're saying do it directly only if you have the time. Otherwise, don't do it.
And the time, inclination, capacity, skill, everything.